Okay, and I'm going to hope that Twitch is again working properly. So, we can go ahead and start. Hello, everyone. This is Chris Ingerson, and it is March 23rd, and this is the March 23rd TextQuest Devstream. So, today we're going to be continuing our work on Markov chains. Specifically, we're going to be basically adding a little bit of polish, and then hopefully we'll be able to actually try experimenting with getting it into the game as an object that you can interact with. I have no idea if we're going to be able to actually do that by the end of the night, but it would be nice if we could at least get started on that. So we're going to find out. Um, so sort of a current state of things. Not a crazy amount has happened since Tuesday in terms of major changes. I have sort of adjusted the workflow for how I'm how I'm generating Markov data. So now I actually have two separate scriptable objects. I have one called Markov chain settings and one called Markov chain data. Now Markov chain data, which I foolishly clicked on and is going to take about 10 seconds to actually show you, is a scriptable object that contains all of the actual data. So you can see here that our n-gram strings are, how many is that? That's 113,000 n-gram strings. Oh man, Moby Dick is big. Um, so that's where all of the data is actually sort of condensed to. And then I have this wrapper scriptable object called Markov chain settings, which lets me adjust individual settings on the actual Markov chain data. Now, the reason that I've done this is because my hope, and it seems to sort of be the case, was by breaking the settings for how Markov is going to. I can't talk. Hopefully, by breaking out how Markov chain settings are set up into this separate wrapping scriptable object, even once I've generated all this Markov data, I'll actually be able to click around and sort of interact with things and not have to wait for 10 seconds. And that kind of is the case. However, you'll notice that it still is a little slow. So I'm going to click on title trends now. And we have like a 1.5, 2 second long delay, which is much better than actually clicking on that on the Markov chain data class itself. But it's not perfect. And everything is still a little bit more sluggish than I would like. But, it's better than having to interact with the actual class that has just hundreds of thousands of array elements. So my hope is by bringing this out, I can speed up my workflow a little bit more. And also, I got to experiment with fancy editor stuff and serializing it, or making a serialized object for an object that's not actually being looked at right now, which is kind of cool. That was what all of yesterday was spent doing, because I just wanted to know how to do that. So for today, we're actually going to, I believe, on the docket, what do we have here? We have, let's see, editor. We don't need to do that. Drag this over. Oh, and a quick code overview. I basically moved the generate Markov sentence and generate Markov title stuff over to Markov chain data, while Markov chain settings explicitly deals with just generating the actual data, so parsing everything out from the text assets that we have, and then putting them together. And of course, if everything's up here, then it's all going to work the same, so we can still, let's go ahead and bump that up to 50. Although that was interesting. We got an argument out of range exception. Wonder what that was for. I don't think we've seen one of those in forever. Markup chain data 79. I thought we fixed all of those issues. Looks like an n-gram length. I bet it has something to do with tracking things back up. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that then. So it's generating everything just fine, and hopefully just today, keep him nailed quick. We'll just be able to sort of smooth things out and maybe get some of the title generation stuff smoothed. Basically, get rid of some of these trailing things. We'll figure out what words should and shouldn't be used in a title. For example, well, I guess they really, they probably doesn't belong on the end. Neither does but, probably. Who's Afraid of the Chances? That's a really good title. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Okay, weird. But though still as before. It might be mooted. See, some of these are actually pretty good. It had been betrayed. Meantime, Vidala was. And as a sort of aside, I was last night trying to get let's go ahead and say was, a sort of Google Sheets form for this stuff set up, but I learned last night that my, I guess I can just show you. Let's go over here. My add-on that I made to export data from Google Sheets in the form of JSON doesn't quite handle the case that I need it to. So let's go to design, Markov chains. So I have this sheet called Markov chain formatting, and the idea is that these, the first thing we're looking at is the title trim, so the words that we would trim off the fronts and ends of the any titles generated. Unfortunately, when I actually try to export this stuff, they get exported as arrays of objects. Let me see if I can set this up real quick. That pretty much should be it. So we get this, and that's not quite what we need it to do. So I'm going to have to rework my tool a little bit to actually handle this case. So unfortunately, we won't be able to use JSON when parsing all of this stuff out, at least not tonight. Hopefully I'll be able to get that knocked out this weekend. That shouldn't take too long. Okay. But of course, that's a non-text quest. Well, I guess, you know what, it is text quest related, so I tend to prioritize those features. I feel kind of bad doing that, but you know, what are you going to do? Anyway. So, let's see. Let's just generate a couple of more titles, and we'll figure out if we can get some nice trims off of those. And also, we can pay attention to see if we hit that null or that index out of range exception again. Whither flows the fabric? Ill mean Captain Scoresby. Equally fallacious. 3 better more. Oh, hello. On life and shouldn't be included in there. That's interesting. Yeah, you can see that and is in the list of title trims. Is it not actually? Oh crap! Right. Let's go ahead and open this up. It's gonna take 5 seconds. No, it's in there. Interesting. So I wonder why that didn't work. That didn't seem to actually trim it. Hello, Garrett. Going pretty well. Just doing some more Markov chain generation. Hopefully by the end of the stream today, we'll actually be able to get it into an object in TextQuest. Something like a book. But we'll see if we can get that far. Current task is to kind of clean things up a little bit and I guess fix some oversights, because we did get I'm going to put a to-do here, this index out of range exception, basically trying to make it so that, you know, the Markov chains never actually fail. Because obviously if it fails in the editor, you know, that sucks, but if it fails in a build, that might actually break stuff. So we need to be able to make sure it's perfect, or at the very least does not throw errors. So let's see here, generate Markov sentence fragment. We want to come down here to generate Markov title. Okay. So title fragments, we remove the period, which is fine. And let's see. See, and this is what we set up on Tuesday at the end of the stream. Right? Pretty sure we did this Tuesday. Where we basically go from the back or the end of the title that's generated and sort of move forward word by word, removing them if they happen to match, or if the title trims, which is just a list of strings, contains the word. And it doesn't seem like that happened on the last one, which is kind of weird, and I don't know why. So let's go ahead and try generating titles again. I'm curious if we can see it show up again. Anyway, while I'm doing that, waiting for that stuff to compile. How are you, Garrett? Hope your day has been going well. Let's see. Okay, let's shorten this down to 5. title. Okay, let's go ahead and add the to this. See, it's so painful to have to edit this slowly. And it is, again, I do think it's slightly better being in a completely separate scriptable object, but it definitely has its problems. And I would prefer not to break it out to like where every little thing is a scriptable object. I think that would just be insane. It would be much easier just to parse this all in at once and then not have to worry about it. I've studied signs. Well, you know what? So have I. Although that does mean I need to remove more than just periods. So let's go ahead and just say, well, I don't want to say replace. That's the thing that sucks. Because I only want to trim it off the end. So, hooray. So we'll say dot trim and then commas. Might as well, I guess, also say dot trim. Well, no, I'm not too worried about that. I was going to say exclamation points and question marks, but I don't think that's a thing. Pretty sure I get rid of them. Could also probably get rid of semicolons. Just got so many things that I have to trim, and I don't like that. That should handle, I think, most cases of things that are going to follow words. So let's go ahead and let that compile real quick. Still porting old prototype code. Yeah. It's always fun going back and looking at old code because you're like, there's a lot of stuff here. Although, admittedly, 90% of the time when I go back and look at my old code, I'm just like, who was this idiot that wrote this? This is terrible. Alright, let's go ahead and play. That's compiled. Shorten this down to 5. Generate title. Seems it by overdoing. And for every column. See, again, and should be trimmed. It should be trimmed from the end, and it should be trimmed from the front. So that's really weird. I don't know why it's there. Thought and again, like, not a thing. Not a thing that should happen. It's so weird. But why is and not being used? Let's go ahead and debug this. This is going to suck, probably. So we're going to say title fragments of I and title trims dot contains title fragments of I. Okay. So let's say that, and so we're going to get the name and if it's contained. Because then at the very least, so I'm just going to put these in square brackets. I like to do that to make sure that I don't have any leading or trailing spaces that could throw things off. Because I would like to just make sure that, they are actually matching. And it could be that the way I'm comparing them, I'm just doing contains, so that doesn't make sense. So we'll see what happens. Not entirely sure why that manages to just slip by. It's kind of weird. Let's go ahead and... Oh, right. You could pretty plainly tell how appalling to mankind. Ahab process. Again, see? There. Okay, that's one that... The false. How is that false? Is it... Oh, it's because... Great. Yeah. God damn it. It's because it's lowercase. Crap. Yep. That's about right. God, I hate it when it freaking does that. Fine. Then that means that we need to basically... do lowercase comparisons. I hate doing say dot to lower. Well, actually, you know what? I wonder if I can do this. Dot find. Would it make sense to iterate over this stuff? Because I think I could try to do that. Or like index of. Let's just go ahead and try, instead of contains, let's say, copy that. I'm just going to say if title trims dot find index tt dot to lower is equal to title fragments of I dot to lower. And I'm assuming that find index is going to be -1 if it doesn't exist. Then we will say title fragments dot remove. Okay. Let's try that. That might be my problem. At least I hope that's the case. Yeah, so I'm assuming that that find index operates the same as everything else, where it will return -1 if it finds nothing. If not, hey, we'll find out right now. Guess I could look that up real quick. All right, that's compiled. Let's go ahead and play. Look at all this stuff, multitasking. Let's shorten this down to 5. Generate title. Seems it by overdoing. Thus, most letters of what is that harpooner? Even now, old fellow. Dang, that's a good title. Here have of their spears. Okay. I'm sorry, that last one was actually really, really funny. Starbuck, lower, lower, quick, quicker. That was a really weird phrase, but that's kind of hilarious. Sing out and repaired. Cried I. Which is probably not a good one to have. Let's go ahead and add that. And, spend the requisite eternity for it to actually individually type out each letter. God, it just takes forever. Okay. One and all. That's pretty good. George A.A. Coffin. Okay. Ooh. Buy. Buy probably should not be in there. Something else that we'll probably do tonight is do things like trying to inject specific things a certain percentage of the time. So we'll say like hands by, and then we will add a suffix or a volume number or something. So we'll probably take a crack at that in a little bit. It had. What should ill? Ross Brown. God, this is so weird. Is that ill? I'm assuming it looks like ILL. Would be my guess. Yeah. It's Isle. I bet that's supposed to be an apostrophe in there. George's decoration, then they. Then presto. Let's see. Hold the stake. Okay, that's pretty good. Who put it there? Ahab must only be American. Okay. Pequod's prows. Dang it, those are good. But as in. Okay. I'm guessing. Let's go ahead and go to our settings again. We probably want Actually, but, as, and in to all be words that are compared for. So, but, give it the 10 seconds it needs. This is the reason that I don't like doing it, or editing these things, but, you know, it's fine for now. As. And also, yes, I was correct. It does send back -1 if that match is not found, which is good. And in. Actually, crap. Should in be removed? Because I kind of actually feel like the shouldn't be removed. The should. Oh, jeez, no, dang it! I gotta break these out, don't I? Ah, crap. I need to have two separate lists. Dang it! Some of which are only used at the end, and some of which are only used at the beginning. Because things like the makes sense at the beginning, but not at the end. Ah, jeez. That sucks. And in is kind of another thing just like that. In doesn't really work at the end, but it does work kind of at the beginning. Rising from in disgust. Because. How then with? Of is probably another one that doesn't need to be in there. See, except again, like of does not work at the end, but it does work at the beginning. You know, of mice and men, all that such. Oh, and of course it's going to capitalize the F just to make me type it twice. Okay, a couple more, and we'll probably move on to trying to inject. Yet is after ye. That is technically correct? Huh. What canst habit accomplish? We thought. Ah, jerk him off. That's an interesting title. Here then from. From is kind of a weird one. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and add from to the list. Da, da, da. Yeah, I like to mention that I'm not setting any of these up. These are completely randomly generated. Well said as calmly, hardly had. Improving his mind, poor fellow. What at old roads? They will last long, dive. Four, of course. Four. Eh. Four should probably also. Do tell now. Any man may. Not reasoning, not remonstrance. Okay, that's probably enough for now. So let's try doing a random calculation for the title. So we have our title here, and that's our title fragments. Ugh, geez, this is gonna suck again, isn't it? So for the extra suffixes, we're probably going to need like a weird array. Well, no, maybe not. Maybe I should have author names. So I'm trying to think about what I'm going to need. Potential suffixes for a title could be something like title, colon, suffix, so like a second title. Title by author name, title volume 7, and then, I don't know, title second edition, something like that. So that's kind of a weird amount. Let's doing uh, doing more and more Photoshop conceptual stuff. It seems, but it's a good way to keep my thoughts organized, I guess. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay. Again, let's go ahead and do 50% gray. Switch back around. So we're looking at title. And then after that, we are going to have second title. I'm going to go ahead and say colon, second title. Dash by author name. Dash second number edition. Okay. Oh, and volume like 3 or 3. Okay, that's gonna be fun. So how do I want to actually generate these? Because the easiest thing I can think of would basically be to have like a list of these potential things. So second title would basically just be another string, which I guess is going to be the easiest thing to do for now. And then we'll have by author name, and the author name stuff's going to be tricky because I'm going to need to come up with a bunch of different names, basically. And I could probably just download a bunch of names and all that, but we'll see what ends up happening there. Number edition, pretty easy. I might be lazy and only go from 1 to 10. So, because I have to say like first edition, and that can either mean, something like this, first, or first edition. Similar to how volume can either be volume 3 or volume III, depending on how fancy you want to get. So let's go ahead and do a second title for now. That'll be the fastest one to sort of prove the concept. And then everything from there is just really gravy. So let's go ahead and come over here. Title, maybe I should pass that in actually. So let's go ahead and say generate Markov title. Let's give it a float subtitle chance. Excuse me. That was super weird. Let's just do 10%. Sorry about that. I tried to sneeze, but I didn't cover the mic, so I was like, Anyway. So subtitle chance is just going to be a normalized value between 0 and 1. So, 0 to 1 would be 0 to 100. And if a random value there is, less than the subtitle chance, then we're going to have a subtitle. So, and this is where it's going to get interesting. So lead remove is greater than 0. So we're basically going to have to run this code twice. So maybe I should do this. It's going to be interesting. Private void. No, it's actually not going to be void. It's going to be list string format. I can't type. Format title. And then that will take a list string title. And actually, it's a reference type, so I think I can just make this void. So let's go ahead and we're going to say for int I equals 0. Actually, that's a lie. Let's just go ahead and delete this. Well, welcome back, Waylon. Um, SpongeBob. Is that still going on? I'm pretty sure they're still making new episodes of that. That's the only thing I can really think Nickelodeon would do. Um, anyway, so let's see. Come down here. Uh, we are going to basically do all of this. So we're going to move this stuff down to here. Yeah, I know. You're not going to be too happy about that. Let's see. So we're going to have to change all this to title. We're doing more Markov chain stuff today, Waylon. The new episodes are garbage, but yes. Nah, that's what I figured. I don't think I've seen... Oh, God. I mean, I really haven't watched TV in forever. Crud. Crud. Great. Lead remove is... Oh, wait, no, I don't need to do that. I can just format that again. Okay, good. So I can get rid of you. Wow, hooray, I can actually get rid of duplicate code. That's always nice. So we're going to format our title, and that should be fine. So we're going to say, come up here, and we're going to say format title, title fragments, okay? And we're just going to do the same thing here. And let's see. Curious if that's going to work. Because I would kind of be surprised. So I'm going to say debug.log title fragments .to delimited string with spaces. I might need to make that a reference variable. Okay. I'm actually pretty sure I need to make it a reference variable. Title fragment. Oh, right. Because even though lists are reference types, I think passing them does make sort of a weird instance. Well, maybe not. We might... I think you have reference to the strings, but not to the list itself. So let's see what happens. Let us see. Okay. So, plain. Let's drop this down to 5. Generate title. Crossing the deck. Okay. First comes White Horse. He had planned. Accursed Shark. Often possession. Come on, give me something. These are good, but you gotta give me something. And I guess... Ho ye ho, cheerly men. Tony features. Alright, it looks like it... Wait, what the heck? That's super weird. What I mean, Captain Sorsby, what I mean. Huh. That's... What? It's like it's adding something. That's really weird. So you can see that both of the debugs before that were just what I mean. So it's like it's adding 2 eyes. That's... Huh. Okay. That's weird. Alright. So yeah, it looks like I was correct. Although, that's super weird. We gotta figure out what that is. It's like it's duplicating eyes for some reason. Really strange. Well, in any case, it does look like I was right. It does format the references, or the reference, so. And just to be absolutely sure, I am going to go ahead and just move this up one. Just to be sure. Just be absolutely sure. Because it also looks like we never hit any ones where it had to reevaluate, so. Anyway, let's go play again real quick. Generating Markov chains after it actually compiles. By the way, something I've been meaning to ask. I've been watching a couple of other developers stream. Should I have music when I do these dev streams? Sort of like toned way down. It seems like it would be a good way to fill in. Yeah, see, like right there, it seems like wherever there's two of a, or wherever there's one single letter that's used as a word, it gets duplicated, which is really weird, and I don't know why. I wonder if it's because of this, my capitalize function. New string, new string 0. Yep, I bet that's exactly what it is. So I had an error in that. Anyway, so the reason that I'm asking is because I think it's a good way to fill in the space between when I'm talking. But yeah, and that's exactly the problem is the licensing issue is a really big concern for me because if I do play music that's good, then one, I probably won't be able to license it, which means that my stream would be silenced, and therefore it's kind of worthless. And I don't mind doing that for something like, I don't know, a Sunday dev stream where I'm just doing it to dev stream. I'm not doing it to talk or explain what's going on. And I've actually done that a couple of times. I've like put on Brandon Small's metal music and just do whatever. But in times like this, the regular dev streams, I kind of want to preserve what I'm talking about. So I've kind of just been staying away from it. But I wasn't sure what the audience's opinions was on that. Let's see. New string 0. Min. New string length. No, see that's the. I guess let's go ahead and just say new string length is greater than 1. Question mark. And then this. Yeah, I know you're gonna complain to me. There we are. Okay, so that actually should fix that issue. So that was a problem with my capitalization function. It was doubling a word if it had only one letter in it. Alright, yeah. So for the time being, I think I am going to stay away from music. At least until I can find either a good source of, free music that I actually want to listen to for potentially 2-3 hours. Okay, so let's shorten this. Yep, hooray, it fixed it. There was a cannibal. No mercy, no. Overwatch horror story. We head for Nantucket. Laughed the Lakeman and we will of God. To make them thyself man. God, some of these are some of these are really good, some of these are pretty funny. Dumplings for supper. Some of them are just pretty good. Alright, so let's go ahead and close this. Markup chain data, title pen, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so all the title formatting seems to be working, which makes me happy. And let's see. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Get rid of this. And I'm going to go ahead and do our percentage calculation now. So we're going to say if random dot value, I believe is what I want. Yep. Oh, is less than subtitle chance. Then we're going to generate a new title or a subtitle to it. So let's go ahead and say list string subtitle equals, and it's just going to be this. Okay. Let's say format title, subtitle, and I guess while we have that, we might as well do this. Title fragments, subtitle, same thing. And how do we want to do this? So once we have that, we need to actually join it. So we're going to have to say title fragments.add. Let's add a semicolon or just a colon to show the separation. And then after that, we're going to say title fragments.add range. And then I guess we'll just say subtitle. Okay. So let's just see what that does. And I guess we'll go ahead and come over here to Markov test. Add another input field. Call this subtitle chance field. Let's do float subtitle chance is equal to subtitle chance field dot text dot to float and subtitle chance. Okay, let's go ahead and add that real quick. Shazam. Shazam. Okay, there we go. Clear that out. Let's take a look at this and controls, sentence count, max words. I'm going to be kind of lazy. Well, not really kind of lazy, but yeah, pretty much lazy. Let's go ahead and add layout elements to these. Layout, vertical group. Oh, stop it. Really? You're going to be like that? Oh, crap. I did that backwards, actually. No, the formatting is all screwed up now. Damn it. Go figure. Let's see. Yarg. Of course it is. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to add a different layout field. Hello, Hopoyo. Welcome to the Devstream. Currently doing a little bit of quick UI work, and then we're going to be generating some Markov chains. Anyway, so let's go ahead and stretch this guy. We're going to say a max of, I'm guessing I had, I don't know, 0.5. And okay, let's go back here, stretch them, and min of 0.5. With, I'm guessing, tops and bottoms. And that is clearly not correct. Huh. Why are they so massive? Jeez. That's incredibly strange. Oh, they're overlapping. No wonder. Bet. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and fix that horrendous issue that I just created for myself. So we're going to set up layout, and not horizontal. We're going to do layout element, min height. Let's set that to be, I don't know, I'm guessing 60 should be fine. Go ahead and create this. The speaking guy is pretty cool. Do you share that by any chance? What do you mean by share? It's just a little thing I made in Flash, so it's not that super cool. Let's go ahead and call these input fields, I guess, because I'm completely unoriginal here. Controls, am I just doing this? Good, it is actually offset. So let's set up this to stretch. go to like 0.5y. Move all these guys. Set this to be a vertical layout group. Wow, it really doesn't like that. Oh wow, it like broke everything. There we go. Oh, and I did that backwards, didn't I? 0.5 to 1. There we go. Yeah, no, the talking guy at the bottom right is just a couple of pixel frames that I made in Photoshop and brought those into Flash and just set up some basic logic to listen for specific levels on my microphone. So it'll stop talking whenever I stop talking, and it'll randomly switch between two different poses whenever I do talk. I probably could share it. I wouldn't mind. It's not like it's anything I sunk a significant amount of time into. But do you do stuff like that sort of animation, or is it just something that you'd be interested in seeing? All right, let's go ahead and drop this down to 50. Child controls. Okay, maybe these need to be 60 or 100. Let's do 75. That's a little bit better. And then finally, I guess we will go ahead and say padding of 10 all around, just to make it sunk in a little bit more. And then let's give it an offset from the right by like 25. There we go. Yeah. Sorry that it's kind of just a lot of UI work right now. I accidentally just screwed up my UI, so gotta fix that real quick. And I guess I can actually go ahead and do this. So let's go ahead and say layout, layout element. It's going to have a min height of 50. Drag these buttons into here. So they're going to align with everything a little bit better. Let's rename this one to subtitle chance. And before I forget, Hopoyo, welcome to the stream, and I always like to ask, how'd you find me? Because most of the time it is randomly stumbling around Twitch and you happen to come across it. But I always like to ask. So, let's see. Subtitle, let's go ahead and change this. Subtitle chance field. You know what? I probably actually could have made it a slider, but I'm not willing to sink that much effort into this. So, let's pump this down to 1. Let's make it a decimal number. And that should probably be enough. And I guess I should change the label. So we're going to say, instead of cycle cap, subtitle chance. All right. And then I just got to sign that. And we should actually be good to go. So let's see if that all actually pans out. So with a subtitle chance of 1, it should definitely give me a subtitle. So I'm going to shorten this, not 45, to 5. Oh God, I'm not gonna read that one. That one was. Why does it keep giving me like erotic novel names? This is so weird. Oh, I guess it is Moby Dick actually. Okay, yeah, no, that kind of makes sense. Okay. Abominable R, God help thee. Okay. No, or oh no, said for all men. Okay. Whether to admit, now the advent. Call all hands, the sperm whale. Oh, jeez, freaking Moby Dick. Anyway, to explain what's going on, Hopoyo, because you knew, I'm currently working with Markov chains, which is kind of like a fancy procedural generation, to generate text so that I can put that inside of books, so that I don't have to write a bunch of books. And I'm going to set this 25 from the right, and let's just be consistent and say like 10. There we go. Give it a little bit more room. With spacing of, I'm going to say 10. There we go. So currently we're kind of just putting our Markov chain generator and sentences through their paces. So we can generate title, or we can generate actual text. I suppose you are dead. That's pretty good. And this is just actual sort of sentences that are being done. There's still a lot of punctuation, like semicolons that I need to take care of, but on the whole it's actually decent. only to hear of this stake. Didst thou cross this wake again? See, they're all coming together somewhat. And generating titles are for things like book titles. So, dance on, lads. Diverse Sunslow. Sure. Stubb knows him, looking into his family's heart. So let's lower our subtitle chance from 1, which is 100%, to 0.1. Let's do 0.1. Tempered in blood. It makes a stranger stare. Come on, come on. Oh, dang it. Ah! What one was that? Helmsman who, hence the spare staves. Okay. So it is actually generating it, and it is it is trying to calculate out that randomization and seeing what's happening. Thoughts, my friends, was the sea. So that's pretty nice. It looks like subtitle generation is functional. I don't know if I want to try and do things like by author name or volume 3 or 4. Well, you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and try and add that real quick just to see what that's going to look like. So let's clear all that stuff. Come up here, collapse that stuff, and I'm going to have to clear my Markov data, I think, because I don't want to try and add all this stuff. Come on, you can do it, Unity. No, I don't have it. I don't have a button for it, so I have to come here. Oh, no way. Do I not have... Oh, it's only a contextual menu thing. Of course it is. Well, we got to fix that. So clear data. Okay, so now I can actually move around because these are no longer holding thousands of strings. Alright. So, let's see here. For the time being, I'm going to be a little bit lazy, and I'm just going to add it directly to the Markov chain data. Because to get that stuff to show up over here, I have to do a lot of fancy editor scripting. And for testing purposes, it doesn't make sense to go through all that effort. So let's go ahead and open up our code. Come over here to Markov chain data. Come up all the way. And how do we want to phrase these? Let's go ahead and say, add sort of this gap here. I'm going to say public string. We're going to make it an array. And this is going to be, for lack of a better term, by words, which is going to be equal to new string 0. Tooltip, because I like to sort of keep my editor informed. We're going to say words used for things like by author name. I'm going to say for title suffixes, like by author name. All right. And then we're also going to need a list of author names, specifically first and last names. So that's going to be the same thing. We're just going to have another array, except this one is going to be author first. Why do you never want to capitalize the second word? First names, author last names. And these are all going to be used to generate, well, by author name. After that, let's go ahead and go back to Photoshop real quick. So I have a second title, which is already done. By author name is the next thing. It's not too bad. First edition, that is okay, I suppose. So, jeez. And then volume. So we're going to do something similar for bywords. We're going to come down here, and we're going to call this volume words. For suffixes like volume 3. And after that, we're going to go on to, see, after volume, edition words. Copy that over. Say addition. Like, over here, we're going to say third edition. Oh, and this is actually going to be interesting because TextMesh Pro supports superscripts. So let me come over here to the text area. Come on. You can do it. I know you can compile. There we go. All right. Let's make sure that this has rich text. Good. And I think it's... I don't remember the actual tag for it. So we'd do something like third edition. And I think we would want to say something like super. Is that right? Super. Nope, it's not super. Unfortunate. Let's come up here to standard assets, asset store, TextMesh Pro. Good. I can never remember which this is. So, look for a superscript real quick. Pretty sure that it has a rich text thing. Here we are. Oh, SUP, soup. Okay. Boom. So we would want to have that be one of the words for the volume words. Okay. Go ahead and copy that, get that out of there. Let's go down to our data again. So author first names, let's go ahead and jump these up. It's going to be by. I guess I really only have the one. Author first names, let's go ahead and just think up 3 for now. John, Danielle, and I guess it's Daniel. I don't know how to spell Danielle. I should have picked an easier female name to spell. Tony. I don't know. I'm bad at coming up with names on the spot. I'm actually just terrible at coming up with names in general. Wordsmith, because I'm super clever and no one would ever think of having a last name like that in a text adventure. Meidinger and Woods. Why not? Okay. Let's see. Addition words. That's pretty much only going to be addition. Well, no, hold on. See, and this is where it actually gets weird. So for volume, I'm going to want to say volume and vol dot. For addition words, we're probably going to say something like addition, and then just same thing that we do with volume, ed. I'm pretty sure that that's standard. Might not be. I am not exactly up to date on my literature naming conventions. So, let's see. We have author last names, bywords. Let's go ahead and do written by. Did I spell that wrong? No, that seems right. Written by. Okay. I think that's probably okay. Let's see here. Volume. So I need 2 more arrays. I need addition words. Copy that. Addition numbers. And we're going to put that above addition words. And finally, we're going to need volume. Let's go ahead and do that. Change that from volume words to volume numbers. All right. I kind of well, this is going to sound really dumb, but I kind of want to write a numbers function that will convert a number into Roman numerals. I don't think that's worth my time, but I probably might do that at some point now because that would be super easy. Anyway, so let's do 10 here, and it's largely going to. Oh, dang it. Okay, let's do 0, 1, and then I believe it was soup. So first, let's do 2, 0 that out. Let's do 10. Kind of just gonna copy this. Ah, you know it's good. 2 and then 10. Might as well stretch everything. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. And real quick, let's go ahead and bump that up to 11. And first, then 220. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. Let's see. So that's the volume numbers. Those are the volume words. Those are the addition words. What are my possible additions? Dang it. Ah, dang it. I put in the wrong things. I did these as additions. Crap. Go figure. Of course I did. So we're just going to kind of copy and paste these. Gotta love it when I do that. And by love it, I mean hate it. To the ends of the earth. Well, in any case, while this is going on, because I know how exciting it is, I'm trying to think if there's anything super exciting going on in the world. Let's see. Ghost in the Shell is coming out soon, I think. And that's going to be terrible. I really should. I should probably try to, try my hand at YouTube commentary because I would just bash everything, which probably would be not entertaining after a while. Okay, so those are addition numbers. So for this, I actually just want to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, and then I, V, I, X. Okay, so those are all the fun stuff. Volume numbers, addition words, addition numbers, author last names, okay, so all that's in there. I suppose I need to actually have a function then to get a title. And let's see. How do I want to handle getting a title? I guess I could just randomly pick between them. That's probably fine. So I don't think I need a particular reason to drive like a specific type of subtitle. So I think I'm just going to let it randomly pick between the 4 of them. Either a sentence, a author, a volume, or an edition. So Ba, 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 ba. This is where it's going to be fun. I guess I would just say equals new list string here, and then subtitle is equal to this. Okay. Let's go ahead and say, oh, this is going to be so weird. Jeez. I really don't want to do it this way, but I can't think of anything else. Int title type, or subtitle type, I guess. Subtitle, come on, title type is equal to random.range from 0 to 3. Oh, and actually, I guess I should. So that would give me 0, 1, 2. So I actually want this to be 4 because it's exclusive of 4. And then we're going to say switch subtitle type. Go ahead and come up here. Oops. What? That's really weird. Okay. Case 0. Break. Weird. Okay. It seems like it wouldn't the closing brace wouldn't recognize the switch until after I typed case. Huh. That was a weird formatting thing. Thanks. Thanks, Visual Studio. Case 1. I am probably going to turn these into enums later, just so I can have better control. And then I'll probably actually let you pass that in. Anyway, let's go ahead and say subtitle type 0, 1. What are we going to make 1? Author. Okay. So let's go ahead and say second sentence author. Copy this over. This is going to be case 2, and this is going to be case 3. Case 2 was the edition, and version 3 was volume. All right. So for the author, we're going to say, let's see, subtitle dot add bywords dot 0 to random dot range from 0 to bywords dot count. Oh, nope, it's an array. Dot length -1. Okay, so we're going to add that string. That's going to be our by. And then we'll need to add a starting name and a last name. So let's copy this because this is pretty much going to be the exact same thing. And all this is going to be is, instead of bywords, it's going to be author first names, author last names. Okay, simple as that. Let's go ahead and say after addition, it is going to be pretty much the exact same thing. We're just going to say subtitle.add edition numbers, same thing. Edition words, same thing. Let's go ahead and copy that. Same thing for volume. So volume words, volume numbers. Okay. And I think, yeah, so to kind of fudge things, I'm going to go ahead and say int sub, not dub, sub. Why do I keep hitting tab? Subtitle title type is equal to 0 by default. And let's just go ahead and just say capital T, and then we'll figure this randomization out a little bit later. And again, we're going to do something similar to what we did with subtitle chance. We're going to have a subtitle type there. So let's go ahead and copy that. Markov test. Subtitle chance. Subtitle type. All right. And same thing. Come down here. Make it an int. Type, tile, type, and then subtitle type field to int. Why are you unhappy? Okay, there we go. Subtitle type. That way I can just sort of control it and make sure that it's all working. And let's go ahead and do some UI work real quick. Very happy that I put these into a layout group. Makes everything way easier. Once it actually decides to compile and let me do stuff. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Subtitle type. Zero those out. Subtitle type. And we're going to change this to a integer again. All right. Let's go ahead and, oh, nope, I didn't assign it. We're not done yet. I was foolish. Come on. I know you can do it. There we go. Markov test. Redo that. Gotta rename that. Type field. Make sure that's correct. Good. All right. Let's give that a shot. So subtitle type of, let's do it as 0. That should give us a sub, oh dear. Oh dear. Why are you mad? No. Did it erase itself again? Oh, right. I'm so dumb. I forgot that I erased all that. Okay. Yeah, I feel a fool. Let me go ahead and generate that data real quick. So that should take, I don't know, like 5 seconds. And there we go. We have our data. So now I can actually generate all this stuff. Okay, let's try this again. Shorten our words down to 5. Hit generate title. Only 3 were left by John Wordsmith. Oh dear, it is still... Oh wait, did I not change that part of the code? Hold on. Come down here, Markov title. Yeah, oh dear. Oh wait, hold on. I bet I didn't actually tell it. No, I totally did. Because that's weird. Subtitle type of 0 shouldn't give us that. Okay, let's try it again. See if editing that number will actually give us a different result. Only 3 were left by John. Oh wait, no, that's right. The semicolon was consistent. I forgot. I thought the semicolon was only part of the subtitle, so it was correct. By Daniel Meidinger. Yeah, okay. So we're good. We're good. A Claim for Two disappeared by John Wordsmith. Seems like a Tom Clancy novel for some reason. Oh, actually, no, A Clam for Two, not A Claim for Two. That's pretty bad. How Far Beyond by Daniel Wordsmith. Why is it always Wordsmiths? There we go. They viciously snapped. Okay. Let's go ahead and change subtitle type to 0. Down the Future. Hold it there very solemnly. Let's go ahead and bump this up to 2. Time Was, 2nd edition. Oh, dang it. That was really good, actually. Time was 2nd edition. Ahab Moving 2, 6th edition. A Few Keen, 7th edition. There we go. I was looking for super text. She to the Whales, 10th edition. God. 'Tis Not Me, 2nd edition. Shan't See Ye Again Presently, 9th edition. Okay. Those editions are actually really funny. Why, that's but Noah. Okay, that's weird. Down Dog and Kennel. Oh my god. Freaking Moby Dick. Never make Markov chains for Moby Dick. It just everything sounds like an erotic novel. Um, Super Text 3rd edition. Yep. Would That He, Volume 5. I Among Some, Volume 2. Volume 10. Length, Volume 6. Uh, Perchance to It, Volume 7. Stop Tell, Volume 7. I like this. I like the volumes and the editions. They really make everything. For some reason, I think it's just naturally funny to see a suffix like 7th edition or volume 3 after a title that's kind of ridiculous. It makes it, for some reason, it amplifies the ridiculousness. Mostly because I think it makes you realize that there was enough want for multiple versions of this thing. Such a base kick, 7th edition. Um, Who's Made Him Mad by Daniel Wordsmith. Okay, so that makes me excited. Let's go ahead and let's do a little bit of randomization, or add some randomization to this. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new enum. We're going to do sharp script, Markov title type, I guess. Actually, it's going to be subtitle, isn't it? So subtitle type. And we're going to pass that in. So reload all. Yeah, I know. Make this derived from byte. Make it an enum. Doesn't need anything. It's going to be in the text quest namespace. So this is going to be kind of a weird one, where we're going to say, I guess, how do we want to do this? So I'm going to change my code a little bit down here in Markov data. So for this, I'm going to shift everything up by 1. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is going to be changed to a lowercase subtitle type. We're going to change this to uppercase. And this is going to be between 1 and 5. And then we're going to say is equal to subtitle type equals 0, question mark, if so 0, otherwise a random value. And 0 is going to mean anything. So actually, if it's equal to 0, it's going to be a random range. Otherwise, it's going to be equal to subtitle type. Like that. Simple enough. That way we can actually do randomization. And that means we're going to come up here, we're going to say any is equal to 0. Sentence is equal to 1. Author is equal to 2. Edition, wow, that was just not even a word, Edirian. Edition equals 3, and not volume is equal to 4. Okay, so we're going to come down to we're going to come up here. This is going to be Markov subtitle type equals Markov subtitle type dot any. Okay. And Why are you mad? There we go. Gotta cast them to ints, just to be sure. And that means coming over here, we are actually going to want to... That's fine. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird how you can pass integers as enums, but that's just because enums technically are wrappers for integers. Oh, really? Are you mad? It is. So I do actually have to wrap them. I guess you can only set values based on them. Okay, so you can't really pass them. So I'm going to have to say Markov subtitle type. There we go. Do a little casting. Oh, you know what, actually? I can just do this. Can't I? Ta-da! And then move this down to here. Okay. I guess it doesn't really matter, but, you know, whatever. Okay. So we're going to give that a shot. If it's set to 0, it should randomize. And if it's set anything above that, so let's generate title. Shorten our max words to 5. Come, my... Jeez. Seriously. Oh, jeez. Why? Why do they all have such terrible names? Okay. But yeah, it does look like 0 is randomizing everything. And just to make sure that everything works properly. So this should always be a sentence. This should always be an author. I don't think this is doing... Hold on. Oh, right. I always forget. I always mess that up. Let's come over here. I don't need to do this whole -1 thing because random range is exclusive. That's why I thought it was too strange that it was constantly giving me 2 names, but there we go. Let's see if that actually does anything. Oops, forgot one. Slipped by. So, what other things would I need for a book? I have sentences, I have titles, I have subtitles. I guess I could try to do things like, oh man, you know what's going to be really crazy? Is the, oh man, the output prefab for books is probably going to be something stupidly insane because I'm crazy. So instead of it just being a massive paragraph of text that you have to read, it's probably going to actually be like ASCII book, and then you can flip through it by clicking on next or something. That, jeez. Ah. Now that I've thought of that, I'm probably going to have to try that this weekend. Let's go ahead and bump this up to 2. Hold the Stake, written by Tony Woods. Where else? Jeez, some of these are pretty funny. I sang out 6th edition. Trumpet to Mouth 1st edition. Okay. To these questions. 8th edition. Calm Snow White 4th edition. Wow. Let's bump this up to 4. What's that was said? Flat obedience. And come up here. I think 4 is a thing that should be turned off if it's not already. Let's go ahead and add that. 4. Give it the 5 seconds per character that it needs. Alright. I Still Rest, Volume 3. Great God, Where is Buffalo, Volume 2. No Ribs, Volume 5. Okay. I think we're going to keep that one. No Ribs, Volume 5. Um, oh, man. I'm not entirely sure. It's 8:30. Do I want to try and implement it tonight? I think it might be better to hold off on trying to actually implement this stuff until next week, because it would give us something to do. That would be fairly interesting. Um, so, is there anything that I really want to polish up after all of that? Because the main thing I wanted to do tonight was getting these sort of author things in. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's very amusing reading titles that are terrible like that. Mostly because I think it's kind of sad actually because I don't know if given such amazing titles if I could actually generate Markov chains in relation to the titles. That's going to be an interesting topic to discuss, or well, try to do, I guess. So I might have to do some more research on that and see if I can find things like that. But we'll see if I can get super crazy, or if I get too crazy about it or not. Um, Let me go ahead and go to my GDC talks and see what some of the things that they did for Caves of Cud was. Um, author's note or editor note, tome. Mm. Nah, that's probably fine. Um, we might end a little early tonight, just because I do think I need to look over some Markov generation for things like this, which is the next big step that we need to take. Once I had all the the rough basics generating, the next thing to do is to try and actually inject hints. So things like potential passwords or strategies for navigating through the environment. Um, so I'm not entirely sure how to approach that yet. I kind of think I need to figure that out. So we might actually call it a day tonight, and end a little bit early. Any announcements? So for Saturday, should be doing a regular Devstream, 2 p.m. Eastern time, uh, and we're probably going to be doing some more custom content creation stuff. But yeah, it's nice. We got subtitles functioning and functioning very well, which makes me very excited. Because now I can have pretty fun. Give a subtitle chance of 0.5. Subtitle type of 0. His X mark. A coward here. Okay. Lower subdivided. Lord, think of it. Uh, Nevertheless, not 3. uh, okay. Sorry, I tend to zone out, I guess, whenever I generate these things. So, yeah, that's probably a good place to end for the night. Got our subtitles generating, which was the main thing I wanted to do, and we got our fancy editors kind of set up. Probably gonna flesh this stuff out a little bit more, and then try to get in things like JSON parsing for formatting. But we'll see how far I get on that this weekend. But anyway, yeah, I think that's a good place to stop. So as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching. And hold on, see something. Are you gonna pre-generate these or do it at runtime? The books. So that's a good question. The idea is actually So I'm going to pre-generate the data all at runtime. So like the Markov chains that can exist, or I guess the data that will form Markov chains. But I am probably going to actually create the sentences at runtime. Mostly because there are some things that I want to do to try and address the issue of replayability. And also, having things like randomly generated text that have hints in them could be great for things like Sierra mode, because I can bury things inside of text that you have to read. And if you don't read that, then you're not going to be able to clear Sierra mode. So for it's going to be great for optional puzzles as well as for very difficult puzzles. And for that, it's going to be great for randomization and making sure that your second playthrough, third playthrough at least has some variety to it, and is not the exact same puzzles that you played the first time. But we'll see how far I can get in that. I'm not planning on leaning too heavy on that, but it is something that I can use to spice up the rest of the puzzles. Just make some things random, some small things that I can control. So the data will be pre-generated, but the actual sentences would be generated at runtime. Although I would probably store them in some weird way, but yeah, that's kind of my game plan for now, and we'll see how that ends up looking once we actually implement it, and hopefully we'll be able to implement it on Monday, or not Monday, Tuesday. So anyway, for now, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.